Heath here from PigeonLessons.com. Pigeon on the Gate. This is a great traditional Irish reel in the key of E minor. It's in a Dorian mode. We've got two parts to the tune. In a moment, we're going to take a look at part A here in this video. But if you head to PigeonLessons.com, you can grab yourself a copy of the tablature that we'll be working through. And in the members section there, you will also be able to have a look at the lesson for part B. And you have a play along and backing tracks once you get to know it as well. Now, we're in the key of E minor. The Dorian mode is basically the same key signature as D major. So we have a C sharp and an F sharp in the key signature, but we are in the E minor Dorian scale. Now, like a lot of reels, this is pretty busy and it's played at a pretty fast tempo. So when you're learning it, it's really important to break it down, get familiar with it as you go along. So we're just going to break down each of these bars and have a look at some of the techniques that you want to work on as you go. Then you can go off and have a bit of a practice and get familiar with it so you can start to work on getting comfortable before you worry about tempo. Now, the pickup notes are on beat 4. So we have 2, 3, 4. Our picking hand is, suggestions are in the tablature where it's needed, but at the end of the day, we're just following our rhythm structure as perhaps would normally, alternating our picking on the down up of the 8th notes. So that's down up there for those two. As we hit the first measure, we have this bit of a theme to kick us off in part A. Now, this technique that we're using, when we've got the 2nd fret on, in this case, the B there and also the E, we're going to use our first finger for both and we're going to try rolling it. So we're actually going to start flat with our first finger and then roll back to the fingertip on the E there. So we're going to be flat on 2nd string, 2nd fret, the B. And so when I say flat, it's more the front of the finger. And then we're going to position our finger up without leaving the fretboard onto the tip to catch the E. I'll just do that slowly, have a watch. So I'm going to start flat and then position myself up to the E. You could bar it the whole time, but your hand's going to get tired. So this roll position works really well. And we can kind of use that through this little section. Just practice that again from the first 2 beats. Ready, and 1 and 2 and then we roll back down 3 and 4 and to the D. Let's practice that a couple of times. Roll it around. Ready, and. So that's a really efficient technique for the left hand. The second measure, we start with that same idea. Then running down the pentatonic scale there, before we hit the open D in the 3rd measure along. Now, once we hit this 3rd measure, we're going to pull off between the F sharp, the E and the D, that 4th, 2nd and open strings. We're going to pull it off in a rhythm structure, the tick-a-tee, so 2 E and. 1, 2 E and 3 and 4 and 1. 4th measure along. Okay, we're going to move on through in a moment. The second half starts in a similar way. Just one note on that pull off. Make sure you get nice and strong. Flick through that string so we hear those notes. It happens pretty quick at tempo, yeah, so it's going to be more like that. So that happens fairly quick once you get going through it, but the main thing is to get the nice strong sort of flick through the string. Second half here starts out in a very similar way. Measure 7 is where it changes before we hit the repeat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and watching left hand fingers, it's in the tablature if you need it. Measure 8. Quarter note there, 1 and 2 and 3, pick up note before you move around. As we break it down, you can see each sort of individual moment isn't that hard. Get that left hand technique in the right way for that roll between the notes. Make sure your picking's nice and consistent and you got a strong flick on the pull off there. Let's have a once through this before we finish up. You do want to repeat it though. It does play through twice, but let's have a once through, not too fast, from the pickup notes. 2, 3, 4. And the repeat to get you around. You can obviously keep working on that as you go. Get familiar with that first. Don't rush the tempo yet. It's going to be a fast one. Go off and have a listen to some recordings. You'll hear that they're typically played quite fast, faster than what I've played. There are some slower versions as well, so this is sort of in the middle of the range really that I demonstrated, but it's certainly a faster tune. The reels typically are. Now, pickonlessons.com, you can grab this tablature there. In the member section, we're going to continue this lesson and break down part B and have a look at some of the techniques that are going on in that section as well. Plus, you'll have your play along and backing tracks there once you get to know it. So pickonlessons.com, I'll see you there.